Boundaries are really important. Boundaries are safeguards. These are helping to respect one another in any kind of relationship. It does not mean only romantic relationships or only friendships or family relationships, but also at the workplace as well. Acknowledgement is really important because it tells what the facts are, how the experience looks like. It does not mean agreement, it does not mean compromise, it does not mean argument or anything like that. But really important to titrate our expectations. Also, boundaries are also important not just for the respect, but also to balance out the dynamics of any relationships. When assumptions are being used, these could be very, very dangerous. Don't get me wrong, some assumptions have a place under the sun. Even stereotypes have some place under the sun, but they should not be unbalanced. They should be in balance and used accordingly, with knowing their purpose, their use and their own limitations. When there is acknowledgement and when there are clear boundaries, then the chance of incivility is very small. It not only helps to apply all the known tricks and skills in emotional intelligence, but also have a moral compass and apply it to everyday life. Moral compass is important because having one helps to prevent manipulation from happening. As I said, acknowledgement is all about saying what is happening or what has just happened. Very important. It is not suitable, that's not acknowledgement, when something is happening we don't like, then we bottle it up, and the next opportunity, even a few months later, we dish it out to somebody. So for instance, when it comes to workers' appraisal at workplace, collecting all the adverse or substandard performance indicators throughout the year and then dishing on it the worker at the time of the annual appraisal is not acknowledgement. That's called manipulation, and as such is very, very unhelpful. Acknowledgement is a building block, as I said, of boundaries, moral boundaries. As such, obviously, I have no way of knowing, and nobody has a way of knowing, what is the life experience in the context of their own lenses for another person. So that's the beauty of it, because it says what has happened or what is happening without judgment or without any value attributed to it. That's really important to prevent from happening what we call, what I tend to call, the binarist ishism. Binarist ishism is basically a contradiction in terms, but it's happening, particularly in Britain these days. Meaning, everything is black or white, good or bad, and at the same time there is no clarity what is happening. This is what acknowledgement prevents from happening. When there are just only assumptions, it can't work. However, I understand there are situations when there is no possibility, it would be untimely, impractical, or even irrational at some point, to check my assumptions. Because if we use assumptions without checking the validity with the person or the people involved, then that's open to manipulation again, which is an unhelpful way of managing situations. But sometimes it's untimely, sometimes it's irrational, sometimes it's just impractical to check assumptions. So, in that case, one needs to be consciously avoid judging people or situation, because that can go deeply, deeply wrong and lead to what I label to binarist issuism again. So, in this point in time, whoever watches this video, I have no way of knowing whether engaging with this video, engaging with the subject in it, would be timely, would be the right opportunity for the individual to deal with it, learn from it, argue it, discuss it, so grow. I don't know, I have no way of knowing whether the viewer has any kind of other contextual issue that would make this untimely. Therefore, I cannot judge their behavior, whether it's helpful or unhelpful. That's why I'm consciously preventing or refraining from making such judgments. Simply just acknowledge I have no way of knowing, but I'm giving this as an explanation to try to speak in the same language so we understand one another.